You know, there's some scent profiles out there that are just magnificent in my personal opinion, and sometimes they're just a little out of range for some people. Budget constrictions, not wanting to spend that kind of money on a fragrance in the first place. There's many different reasons and many different factors when it comes to maybe not wanting to shell out the money, even if it's a $60 fragrance all the way up to a $600 fragrance. But in this video, I've got 5 of my personal favorite scent profiles and my absolute favorite alternative for each that are much more affordable than what they smell like. I want to talk to you about them, so stay tuned. Starting with what I believe to be one of the best designer releases of last year, but it's also one of the most expensive designer releases of last year at $155 US retail for a 60 milliliter bottle. We're talking about DIOR SAUVAGE ELIXIR. A super woody, spicy take on DIOR SAUVAGE. Hint of the DNA in the background. For those of you that weren't fans of DIOR SAUVAGE, you might end up liking this one. Performance is stellar. It can be overwhelming if you spray it too heavy, and it just lasts and lasts and lasts and lasts and lasts. You get the idea. Like I said though, problem, not too many people want to spend $155 on a 2-ounce bottle of a designer fragrance, though very high quality for a designer fragrance. Designer fragrance nonetheless, and it's very good. But even though I shelled out the money for the original, had this dropped sooner, I'm not sure if I would have bought the original. This is from Alexandria Fragrances. This is their take on Sauvage Elixir, called Et Sauvage Elixir. It's available in a 60 ml or 100 ml bottle like this. At 100 ml, it's $99 US before any discount codes. And I believe it's $59.99 for the 60 ml before any discount codes. And it's pretty easy to find 15 and 20% off discount codes to save you $15 or $20 off the 100 ml, and then I forgot what the equivalent would be on a 60 ml. But in my experience with this one, while not one-to-one, from start to finish, opening, heart, early dry down, late dry down, and performance, I consider this about a 90% close comparison to the original DIOR SAUVAGE Elixir. Like I said at the beginning of this, had this come out sooner, I may not have grabbed, because I didn't grab this the day it dropped. It was within 2 weeks or so after it came out that I had a carded sample first, because like I said, even for me, $155 is very, very pricey for as much of a fragrance lover as I am and as much as I spend on fragrances. This is still a lot to ask for a 60 ml designer Sauvage flanker. But I like the fragrance so much based on sampling an official carded sample, I spent the money. I got the bottle. I think it's one of the best releases, but Alexandria put out what in my opinion is the best interpretation. There are other brands, other smaller clone houses, other clone houses in general that have made their version of it. And while I haven't tried every single one of them, from what I've tried, I'm going to spray it again because it's so good. From what I've tried, like I said, from start to finish, for the scent profile, and for the performance, the longevity, the sillage, the projection, I think it's a 90% close comparison across the board. So, especially even in quality, believe it or not, I feel like it's pretty much the same quality. So if you're looking for a great alternative, or in this case, a bigger bottle for less money, you might want to look at getting a bottle of Alexandria Fragrances Et Sauvage Elixir. So one of the most popular designer DNAs that has been copied to death is VERSACE EROS. Here I have the Eau de Parfum concentration. The original Eau de Toilette has been around for many years. There's now a Parfum concentration that I have yet to try. And it's a beautiful apple vanilla combo. There's this ambroxan warm woody smell. It's lovely. Apple mint vanilla. It's got almost a bubblegummy type of feel, a very blue fragrance, very easy to like. Over the years, historically, the VERSACE EROS DNA has pulled in many compliments from many different people. It's known to be well-liked, universally loved for the most part, and it performs really well. But even for a tester bottle like this, you're going to shell out around 60 bucks. And there's a lot of cheaper designer clones, more affordable designer houses, let alone small clone companies, that make a great version of this scent profile. And for me, for only $20, the cream of the crop has got to be Guess 1981 Los Angeles. While not a one-to-one copy, because this one has, and I've mentioned this before for those of you that have heard me talk about this fragrance before, there's some black pepper that adds a dry spice up top, and there's some amber in its heart and dry down that warm it up quite a bit and make this, in my opinion, even more suitable for evenings than even Versace Eros. I just wore this one last week, as a matter of fact, at the recording of this video. I wear this more than I wear my bottle of Versace Eros EDP. Easy to get for $20 from discounters online. They pop up at rack stores, Burlington's, Marshall's, TJ Maxx, anywhere you can usually find Guess fragrances at a discount. You'll usually see one of these pop up, whether it be in a gift set, a smaller bottle, or the 100 milliliter bottle like this. For $20 for 100 ml, it's kind of a Versace Eros killer. Like I said, while not one-to-one, and definitely does not perform as well as Versace Eros, because I get in the 6-hour neighborhood here, whereas here I get in the 8 to 10 hour range, closer to the 10-hour range in longevity. It lasts a lot longer. It is a bit louder. If you want your fragrance to pronounce your here, just spray this one a bit heavier to compensate for the difference in performance versus here. But you're looking at around 60 from discounters to around 20 from discounters. While this isn't the most expensive fragrance out there, that's still a lot of money for some people, and I understand that. And that's why I wanted to bring an even more budget-conscious option for you guys, and that's why I decided to go with Eros, because it is one of my favorite DNAs. I have a lot of different, more affordable fragrances in the realm of a Guess 1981 Los Angeles that work, but for me personally, my favorite is Guess 1981 Los Angeles. In my opinion, one of the best openings of all time. The heart, the dry down, everything about the scent profile is incredible, but the opening is just to die for. I am talking about ROJA Parfums ELYSIUM Parfum pour Homme. It's gorgeous. This is one of the best smelling fresh fragrances I've ever put my nose on. God, that is so good. If you've ever smelled this, you understand how good it is. The performance is there, the originality of the scent profile, the ease of likability, and the quality is definitely there. But retails around $500 for this 50 milliliter bottle. So that puts it out of range for a lot of people, though it is an incredible olfactive experience, and there are tons of fragrances out there that smell similar to ELYSIUM Parfum and to its blue bottle fresher counterpart, ELYSIUM Parfum Cologne. But for me, while I do have several that replicate both versions of ELYSIUM, this fragrance replicates the Parfum, which we're talking about, and it is from SAMY ANDRAUS Fragrances, and it's called Blue Sapphire. While not the exact same note breakdown, this is more of a citrus aromatic and less of an aromatic fougere, as you can see by the note breakdown here. Some of the greenery and such is removed from what the original ELYSIUM Parfum has. This performs just as well. It's an extrait de parfum. I have multiple bottles of this fragrance. It is delightful, and as you can see, it definitely gets its share of use here and there. It's great. Around $25 for 1 ounce. You're going to spend $25, $30 on a third of an ounce of ELYSIUM. So price versus ml, you can get 50 milliliters of this easily, actually 60 milliliters for around 50 bucks, whereas 50 milliliters of this is around 500. You understand the difference? While Blue Sapphire cannot touch the quality of the ROJA Parfums original, that's where the difference lies. The quality is night and day better here versus every version I've smelled of it, including SAMY ANDRAUS Blue Sapphire. But for me personally, this is the most enjoyable, that replicates the performance, and honestly is a little bit louder, reaches out a little further to grab people, but smells incredible in its own right. Not one-to-one. This is not a one-to-one copy of this fragrance as far as scent profile. Like I said, there are some notes removed. This leans more on the fruits and the citruses and the leather versus the herbaceous components of the original. So it takes away some of that fougere quality, some of the greener, spicier, zestier aspects of it and focuses more on that fresh, juicy, fruity, metallic, aquatic opening that ELYSIUM's known for. My favorite, hands down. If you're looking for ELYSIUM Parfum on a budget, my vote is going with SAMY ANDRAUS Blue Sapphire. While I just recently got a discovery set that features a decant of this, I have sampled the original many times. Of course, I am talking about Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This is Baccarat Rouge 540, the Extrait de Parfum, the red bottle, the denser, sweeter take on Baccarat Rouge 540. I actually have it currently on my hand. I sprayed it a little while ago. Marketed for the ladies, but I deem it to be extremely unisex. It is super enjoyable. It's got this lovely saffron spicy nature, but it's not really spicy. It's got this lovely amberwood, bit of a synthetic note, but very well done. Francis Kurkdjian is a genius of a perfumer, as many of you watching this already know. It's got this sweetness that's not overdone. This jasmine saffron combination just creates something magical that's been replicated to death by many different companies. But for me, in my opinion, for around $40 for a 100 milliliter tester bottle, which is what I have, it comes in a white tester box. That would be from HARAMAIN, Middle Eastern clone company. This is Amber Oud Rouge. As you can see, the juice level starting to drop here. I enjoy wearing this from time to time. The scent profile is almost nailed down 1-to-1. It's very, very close. I mean very close. Yeah, it smells so good. It really does. Yeah, almost spot on. Not the exact same in quality, obviously. You're going to spend more for the Maison Francis Kurkdjian quality. If you want the highest quality, you need to go with the original. But if you're looking for what I deem the closest representation of Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait, I think for my money, my recommendation is always moving forward going to be Amber Oud Rouge from HARAMAIN. It nails it in scent profile. It comes as close as it really can in quality. And then the performance is there. It's loud, it's long lasting. If you spray it heavy, it will fill a room and overwhelm everyone. Just like Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait. So be mindful of the sprays. If you're looking for the best version of BR 540 Extrait, my vote is go with HARAMAIN Amber Oud Rouge. You want to talk about copied to death? We need to talk about Creed Aventus then. This is my 19S11 batch because those of you that are fans of Creed Aventus, that always gets asked at some point by somebody, what batch do you have? The batch variations matter. It's a thing. This is 19S11. One of the better, newer batches. Super pineapple-y, smoky goodness. Gotta love Creed Aventus. While not everybody loves Creed Aventus, tons of people do. That's why it's so wildly popular and so heavily replicated. A unique masculine scent. When it came out in 2010, it took the men's fragrance space by storm slowly over the following years, and it's kind of known as a successful man's fragrance, if you will. I've had many bosses and managers over the last several years that this was what they wore every day because it's a status thing, like wearing a Rolex. Same thing goes with wearing Creed Aventus. It's just what you do. Now granted, most of them don't know about the discount market and the community like you and I do, where you can get this for much less than retail, but still hundreds of dollars nonetheless. It's still very expensive overall. There's many ways to smell like Creed Aventus. Some do it kind of close, some do their own twist on it, some straight up clone it, and while there's so many countless ways to smell like Creed Aventus out there, even all these years later, in my opinion, ARMAF Club de Nuit Intense Man is still the best way to go. You're going to spend around $30. It performs great. It's very synthetic. The opening's a bit harsh. It's got this synthetic lemon note up top that's not present in Creed Aventus. But the dry down here, which the lemon never bothered me. Some people deem it too synthetic and harsh in the opening and you have to get to the dry down. I actually like the opening. It never bothered me. I always enjoyed it. This is like a 10 to 12 hour fragrance on my skin. I have not tried the eau de parfum or the parfum versions. I've heard they're much smoother, so maybe look into those if you want to avoid that rough around the edges lemon opening that the original Eau de Toilette has, but it's hard to beat. You're going to spend mid-20s to $30 on a 3.6, I believe, is the size, if I remember correctly. Let's see. I believe it's on the bottle somewhere. Something like that. I think it's a 3.6 ounce. It's a little bit bigger than a 100 ml. It's a 105 milliliters, if I remember correctly. It performs. It smells incredible. It will pull some compliments. I've gotten more compliments wearing this fragrance over the years in the past than I ever did wearing the original Creed Aventus. While the quality is night and day, they're not even remotely close in quality. Creed's quality is so much grander than a clone company like ARMAF with these Middle Eastern cheaper oils. But retail is hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Discounters is still hundreds of dollars. Discounters for this, around 30 bucks. You could do a lot better in quality, but for the money, it's just the way to go in my opinion. It smells great, it's enjoyable, it performs, and it does the job for literally like a 20th of the retail price of the original. So for me, the best route to go if you want Creed Aventus is still ARMAF Club de Nuit Intense Man. Well, that's the 5 I wanted to discuss with you today. Until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What are some of your favorites when it comes to these scent profiles? Just because these are my favorites doesn't mean they will be yours. Or was this video helpful? Have you been looking for some decent alternatives for any of these 5 scent profiles? Obviously, I could have did more than 5, but I wanted to stick to the 5 that I felt was most noteworthy to talk about in the first place. And until next time, I will say, if you get any of the 5 recommendations I picked for this video and you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.